In the near future, human species face the result of their actions, the outcome of exploiting the natural resources on Earth to its limits, leading to the wildlife getting exterminated and people falling into disarray, turning against each other for the last bit of resources remaining. The planet being drained of its last bit of life, human race falls into its knees, being on the brink of extinction. With nothing else to turn to and no other hope, people of the world turn to religion and pray desperately for a miracle. As it happens, the divine messengers descend down on Earth to offer their help, answering humans' prayers. People, being a greedy race, instead of learning from their mistakes and changing their ways to let Earth heal, use the kindness of the divine against them, strapping them to engines which allow them to extract their energy. With the supernatural nature of the divine, their energy is something humans have never experienced before, something limitless, something they can exploit for centuries to come. With that, they start performing miracles, returning their planet to its former glory and even to higher levels, profiting and draining the life out of these angels who come down to Earth to help people, who instead became the batteries or powerhouses of Earth, a planet which had natural resources already, which people drained to nothingness. It seems as if years go by with the angels resembling nothing that they used to, becoming a mix of biomechanical waste, half-living, devoid of their divinity and powers. In the second chapter, one of the angels instructs certain someone or people how to find it and free it. The location where these angels are kept is in the Holy Land, close to where they find colossal thorns. The angels are clearly suffering and ask for help in order to be freed from their eternal torment of being used as batteries. The angels warn people about a certain entity that will come to deceive others, an enemy to the world, someone who shouldn't be trusted.
He is coming.
Do not let him in.
Do not be deceived.
That is when we are introduced to Dr. Ernstman. He seems to be the lead scientist extracting the energy from these angels. He explains how these angels could potentially provide energy for millennials to come, as there doesn't seem to be any limit to their energy output. One of these angels is seen to be strapped and kept in a dark, isolated place, just for it to be exploited. The good doctor, who is providing energy for the people of the planet that they exploited and milked to its last bit of resources, is seen as a source of hope for current and future generations to come. The news is interrupted by an emergency announcement.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen, me.
I am standing before you on this day as a man, a husband, a father, as your president, but most importantly, as a citizen of this country.
He is not from Earth.
We are on the cusp of war.
Your species will die.
It is unfortunately the truth.
Your cities will fall.
As we speak, our enemies are readying their nuclear arsenal.
The sky will burn.
The president of what seems to be United States in this fictional alternate version of the world explains that they are going to enter into a war where there won't be any clear winners and they will most likely be all annihilated. The enemy is preparing their nuclear arsenal, and in return, they will have to do the same. The president seems to be affected by supernatural entities who inform the people of the real grim truth of what to expect. The skies will burn and Earth will come to its knees. This might be a direct result of human greed and cruelty. They exploited the resources of Earth without a thought in mind, to the point that it was drained. They prayed and hoped for divine intervention to help them out. When the divine descended, they decided to do what they do best, enslaving and imprisoning the divine to extract more resources and energy from it, rather than try to heal. Now, after getting almost unlimited power and energy, instead of using it for good, they decided to build more nuclear weapons and threaten each other, misusing this energy to to wipe each other out and create another cataclysmic event. In part 5 of the series, we learn the entity the angels are warning people about is another supernatural entity of mysterious origins. The angel describes it as an entity unlike the angels who will not be restrained like the angels. They will break free and they will destroy Earth. That's when the explanation is cut short by a news anchor reporting on the development dubbed as the second Babel Tower built in the Negev desert. This construction houses 200,000 workers, with the scientists labeling it the Angel Engine, where they test out new technologies. Talking to Dr. Ernstman, the director of this tower, he explains how not only they have managed to meet all their energy needs, but they are also close to crack the secrets of the process of miracle energy, something the angels produce. So the goal is to supply energy to the world and also find an alternative method to replicate this energy by studying the process of energy production by the angel. Despite this being very good on paper for people, many millions have voiced their disapproval online that a sentient angel has been trapped in the tower and used against its will. Through an employment advertisement, the inhumane work conditions within the Babel Tower is displayed. Through this propaganda advertisement, Dr. Jeff Ernstman himself explains that there's no need of prior education or qualification to apply to work there. All they need to do is to apply online through the website. At the end of this video, we see some classified and confidential footage of how these volunteers who sign up to join the Babel Tower in fact are being experimented on in order to replicate the energy extraction from the angels. The doctor seems to try to replicate the same settings and use human test subjects to extract energy from. Ernstman clearly has had a different type of upbringing and never recognized ethics to be a hurdle in his pursuit of developing science. His lack of empathy towards the divine and angels experimenting on them should have already been clear to not have been only limited to them, but also humans. On the other side of the story, there seems to be a specific character wielding a sword traveling across the Holy Land to find and then free the angels. But in the midst of all this, there is a deceiver, which could potentially be the devil. The devil, being a fallen angel, shares close similarities to the angels, but instead, it is very cunning and devoid of all kind qualities of the angels. We saw this deceiver through some other videos behind the president and even the doctor. So it is possible it's the deceiver who has made the people do such horrible things to the angels. Either way, the savior, the person who has set off into the Holy Land to rescue the angels, has been guided to watch out for the deceiver and not to look at the sky as it will melt their eyes. Hence why the savior has eye protections. On the other hand, there is a colossal monster called the Forgotten who would kill foreigners. The human race was on the brink of extinction. They were depleted of resources, but now, getting unlimited energy, too much to know the limit of, they turn against each other for more, killing, destroying, and returning to the near extinction that they once experienced. Despite being used and exploited, the angels still empathize with the humans because they are kind, and unlike humans, they are innocent and pure. In the meantime, Dr. Ernstman films a demonstration on the angels' capabilities. It describes the angels as hyper-intelligent and a lot more advanced than the current testing equipment, with the scientist himself being baffled to the extent of the capabilities and energy output of the angel. Despite being experimented on and tormented, the angel still displays love for humanity, yet begs to be freed from its torment. The doctor, with lack of any empathy, rejects the angel and explains further to the camera that the angel rarely speaks, but through long sessions, he has learned this angel responds to the name Uriel. Biblically, Uriel is the angel of wisdom and truth, and it acts on behalf of God as a messenger. According to its kind and caring nature, the doctor explains Uriel could very easily escape its binds and restraints, but it decides not to. The angel is extremely powerful, but it doesn't use it against humans. Next to the angel, we see a badly mutilated and deformed human, who the doctor dismisses as a work mishap. But through the classified video, we know this person is one of the volunteers who applied for work here, who who ended up on the wrong side of the experiments and was used to replicate the energy extraction of the Angel engine. Through this groundbreaking demonstration, the Doctor finds a way to demonstrate an experiment live on the footage. He shows how through using the energy output of the Angel, this clinically dead, badly mutilated person regains his destroyed flesh and organs, regaining full health and consciousness, coming back to life. This groundbreaking scientific experiment reveals how humans can now be resurrected and fully healed from irreversible injuries, something truly miraculous. Unfortunately, the Angel suffers through the energy extraction and screams, but that is something that the greedy humans don't really care about, especially the Doctor, as this Angel is the answer to immortality. These experiments leave visible tolls on the Angel, making it physically deteriorate. In an interview with a talk show host called Barry Donovan, Dr. Ernstman answers to the criticism that he has received from the public. Criticism that he is exploiting and hurting the Angel, that he completely relies on the Angel for his inventions and discoveries, and also that he is a fraud. The Doctor in a menacing way smiles, saying that in 1 week exactly, he will prove to the human race how he is the smartest person on the planet. He explains he has found a way to replicate the energy output of the Angel without needing it. That shocks the audience watching him live, with the Doctor separating himself from people, displaying his ego and how he thinks he is better than anyone else, wanting to distance himself as if he is a superior species. Dr. Ernstman is simply driven by accomplishment and glory, and he has an insatiable ego that would never be satisfied. As the week passes, before the Doctor decides to announce his ultimate discovery, someone shoots him 3 times, which seemingly leads to his death. He dies in the halls of Babel Tower, leaving people unaware of what he wanted to share with the world. In his tribute, we learn Dr. Ernstman was born in 1992 in Italy and died in 3033 in the Holy Land. We learn the shocking truth that he lived for more than 1,000 years, which is made possible due to his experiments with the Angel becoming immortal. As he displayed, he could use the energy of the Angel to bring back dead and essentially extract the energy to make someone immortal. So despite the fact that the spokesperson of the Babel Tower announces that he died with 3 gunshots, it isn't really believable, as they could simply use the Angel engine to bring him back. He managed to bring someone so badly mutilated back to life, so bringing himself back to life would be nothing in comparison. And that is exactly what happens. It doesn't take long before it is announced that with the Doctor's invention, death is a thing of the past, or at least for the rich and powerful. And on that note, the Babel Tower announces a surprise reveal and show where Dr. Ernstman himself appears, telling everyone not to be shocked. After all, he happens to be 1,000 years old, and he has managed to defeat death and become truly immortal. On his big reveal, the biggest invention he has ever made, he displays to the public that he has created an artificial angel, something that would replicate the powers of the real angel. The Doctor introduces this artificial angel as Barakiel, who is in fact a biblically accurate name for an angel. The show cuts to a news report on the shooter of the Dr. Ernstman, who was shot in the Solomon Hall of the Babel Tower. The shooter was called Jensen Goldstein, whose body was found lifeless in the maximum security prison. It's clear the death has been caused by Dr. Ernstman or his goons, as the authorities have dismissed the death as an accident. As time goes by, the Doctor being invited to the talk show of Barry Donovan, strange things start happening to him. The Doctor seems to have seen the unseen world. He has been to the other life and dragged back. This has left a massive toll on him, and he feels as if he has let someone in, someone possibly known as the Deceiver. Speaking to his most trusted friend, the spokesperson of Babel Tower, Stephen, Ernstman explains there is no saving anyone of what is to come. He warns that Babylon has fallen and that he is something different. We do get glimpses of an entity appearing behind as well, or in the corners, which might be showing the Deceiver. So my theory is, after dying, Dr. Ernstman being a corrupt person, he acted as the perfect host for the devil, letting it possess him. In the meantime, the Savior manages to finally reach the imprisoned angel who has been exploited and used for centuries. The angel begs the Savior to save it and free it. This is the latest video uploaded by the creator of Angel Engine series called The Unearthly Hub. Make sure to check out his channel on TikTok to follow up with the latest videos. The story seems to be just evolving more and more, with a lot more to come. We might figure out who this mysterious savior is, who the deceiver is, and what is the current state of Earth, and what happened to the Doctor. I have a theory that Dr. Ernstman will now be the biggest threat to Earth and human race, but the very angel who was used and exploited for centuries will be the one saving humanity despite their cruelty towards it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to stay tuned for more by hitting on the subscribe button and the notification bell. It's been your host Star, thanks for being here, and I will see you on the next one.